Good morning. Today is the day we're going to Scotland, most likely to Largs, at least that's the plan. We're here in Belfast. It's 10 to 8 in the morning. We're ready to go. Passage plan is done. Critical point on the whole thing is here. That's on the on the end of Belfast Loch. That's when the tide changes and pushes us northwards, so we have to be there at around 11. That's why we're leaving around 8ish, so we have a nice little cruise down there, and we hope to be there around 8, 9 o'clock tonight, maybe 10, depending on the wind and the weather. The weather forecast is quite good. A bit windy in the morning, then afterwards it could calm down a bit, and it's sunny outside. I hope that's gonna stay like that.
Coffee and tea. Captain's ready.
It's a very busy harbour, Belfast, so we have to ask for clearance to leave the harbour. That's what I'm going to do right now. Belfast VTS, Belfast VTS. This is sailing vessel Polaris Helvetica, over.
Polaris Helvetica, Belfast VTS, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Requesting passage to clear Abercorn Basin and to leave the harbour via the channel, over.
Helvetica, Belfast VTS, that's fine, sir. You've traffic clearance to proceed outbound. Keep a listening watch on channel 12, please. And keep clear of all commercial shipping.
Thank you very much, VTS. We will standing by on 12. Polaris out. Our usual procedure for getting in and out of a marina berth is that Catherine runs the line and fenders and I drive Polaris. We're still working on swapping these tasks, but Catherine always freaks out when I'm too slow with the lines. Yeah.
Bye-bye Belfast. Your beautiful, colorful city. Hier habe ich meinen Sauerteig für ein weiteres Brot. Ich habe gestern eines gemacht. Das sieht dann so aus. Wir sind außerhalb von Belfast und kommen eigentlich ganz gut voran. GPS Speed ist 6,7. Das ist das, was wir erhofft haben.
We're pretty good. The wind is a bit more northerly than we thought, so it's a bit difficult to keep the course, but I think once we have cleared the headland here on this side, and also once the tide pushes us in the other direction, that will correct itself, so pretty happy. We have full sails up, the wind is about 14 to 15 knots and the boat speed is about 6.5, 7 knots depending on the wind. So it's just about the upper limit of what we can do to be comfortable. If the wind gets a little bit more, then we'll probably put in a reef, but at the moment we're still fine. So how is the steering going?
Gut! Aber ich muss mich konzentrieren! Gut! Sonst gut! So, das muss ich euch jetzt also trotzdem noch zeigen, weil wir segeln hier jetzt immer näher zu Schottland bei wunderschönem Wetter. Es ist gefühlte 25 Grad, ich bin schon ganz rot im Gesicht, aber wunderschön. Die Welle ist sehr klein, kurz, aber nicht ärgerlich. Und wir segeln immer noch 6,5 Knoten Schottland entgegen oder genauer Lachs. Wunderschön. Ein richtig schönes, entspanntes Segeln.
Lovely weather. Scotland at its best. We've passed the Northern Channel. The chop is over. The sea is much flatter now. We're going at the moment 7.2 knots over the ground in 12 knots of wind and moving nicely.
Wunderschönes Wetter. Wir treffen auch noch das große erste Refrain.
Suddenly and quite opposite to the forecast, the wind freshens up and we put in a reef to make sailing a bit more comfortable. And sure enough, later the wind completely dies. We have the option to motor for another 4 hours to Largs, but we decided to divert into Lamlash Bay on the Isle of Arran for the night. Lamlash Bay proved to be a beautiful spot, and from the gannet diving I guessed there would be some fish to have. This was a really great evening. I just put the hooks in, I pulled them back and I had 4 mackerels in one go. I caught about 10, I let go the smallest ones, I just kept the biggest ones. I'm filleting them now and Catherine is gonna cook us some nice food.
Ja, ich glaube, ich mache eine Pokeball morgen. Mittag oder Abendessen. Wahrscheinlich eher Abendessen. Freue mich. Die ersten Makrelen dieses Jahr, oder?
Yes.
Und das ist unser Ankerplatz für die Nacht. Da drüben haben wir Holy Island. Und hinter uns ist die Insel Arran.
This was probably the first time that we changed the passage plan due to the wind. But why should we use the engine and make a late arrival? This also made us realize that we still are way too attached to our self-imposed time plan. Why hurry and risk to miss all the beauties along the course? We loved it that much and the weather looked to remain settled that we decided to stay at anchor for another few days to explore Holy Island. Holy Island off the Isle of Arran has a long history as a spiritual centre stretching back to the 6th century. In the 1990s, its former owner, a devout Catholic, is said to have had an epiphany of the Virgin Mary, who told her to give away ownership of the island to the Sanye Ling Buddhist community. So, she sold it for £350,000 to Lama Yeshe Losal Rinpoche. I hope I said that correctly. They understand themselves as the guardians of the wild Eriksea ponies, the Saanen goats, the soy sheeps, and they run a program of replanting native trees who are indigenous and unique to Arran.
Also auf dem offiziellen erlaubten Weg hoch zu dem Gipfel.
It is endowed with an ancient healing spring, a hermit cave, and evidence of a 13th century Christian monastery. And as we stand on the top of this little island, letting in the breathtaking views, I have a similar feeling as back in the Cathedral of Tréguier a few weeks ago. A feeling of peace, of belonging, and of awe.
Und immer wieder wie aus dem Nichts. Solch angemalte Steine, die sicher etwas bedeuten. Wenn ihr wisst was, lasst es uns wissen in den Kommentaren unten dran. Und wieder zurück im Farn. Healing Spring, but this water has not reached the EU standards for drinking water. So now, do we heal?
Wir können ja eine Flasche voll nehmen und bei uns in den Tank hineinleeren und dann wird es gefiltert.
Okay. Judgment Rock.
As we came past this small forest, we wondered why these trees seemed to have been arranged on purpose. We were touched when we learned that the monks had planted a tree in memory of each victim of the Dunblane massacre. On 13th of March 1996, in Dunblane, Scotland, a man committed the deadliest mass shooting in British history, killing 16 pupils and their teacher and injuring 15 others before turning the gun on himself. We left Holy Island deeply impressed and in pondering silence. If we all adopted just one small piece of the spirit of this island, the world would be a better place. And we thank the wind, for had he not failed us, we would have sailed past this awe-inspiring small island.